RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Jack Schmidt Chevrolet, the #1 GM certified dealer in Southern Illinois. Olin Community Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Tycon Builders, 25 years of quality construction services. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Weber Granite City Chevrolet, Buy American. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof.
A beautiful evening for football as we get set for the opening kickoff. Normally I complain about starting in August and having to subject the players and the fans and everybody else to the hot weather, but we're just over 70 degrees, a gorgeous evening. Sean Crouch has the ball teed at his own 40-yard line for the Carlinville Cavaliers, and on the signal from the referee, we will be underway. There's the run-up and the pooch kick, and coming up to take it is Cecil Brimage at his own 20, looking for a hole out across the 25, and out to maybe the 27 or 28-yard line. And Carlinville purposely did not kick deep because you had Travis Jones and Cecil Brimage back there. Brimage came up, but by the time he settled under the football, the Cavaliers were there and hemmed him in after about a 6-yard return out to the 26-yard line. 1st and 10, Marquette right there. And the sophomore quarterback, Dalton Halm, will lead the team to the line of scrimmage. Halm stepping in for Keenan Eberlin, who sprained an ankle just a couple of days ago. And now Marquette sends 2 receivers wide to the right side. Brimage, the lone setback, and now the Cavaliers jump into the neutral zone. And let's see what the call is. They threw a flag. Marquette did that little shift. They did that a lot last year, and Carlinville jumped offside. And there's the first penalty of the ball game, and Chad Easterday over there on the far sideline has to be shaking his head already.
Well, that Carlinville doesn't need that to put Marquette in a 1st and 5 situation.
Brimage, the lone setback, with Utley a wing to the right. They pitch it back to Brimage, trying to sweep the right side, finds a hole. Jitterbugs at the 35 to the 40, another cutback out to midfield and across midfield to the 48 of Carlinville, and a big run there for Cecil Brimage.
Brimage was the lone setback, and it was a toss sweep right, and Brimage really produced some moves there, Sam.
21 on the carry for Cecil Brimage, the first down of the night. 1st and 10 Marquette at the 48 of Carlinville. And he looked like Zerwas.
Yes, he did.
He really did on that carry. 1st and 10 Marquette at the 48 of the Cavaliers. Toss sweep to the left side. Again, it's Brimage. Cuts it outside to the 45. A cut down shy of the 45 at the 46-yard line. And a nice play by the Carlinville defense as it looked like Brimage had something going again, and they hold him to just a 2-yard pickup.
Well, it was a good defensive play by the right defensive end for Carlinville over there. He would not get hooked, and he fought it off, and he eventually made the tackle.
What Marquette does is put 2 receivers to one side, then a wing to that side, with Brimage as the lone setback, and they just run a sweep to that side, to the strong side. Now they're going with the double wing formation. And they put Jones in motion to the right side, and Halm rolls to his right. He wants to throw. He's under pressure. Steps up. Now he's got to run with it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Breaks a tackle. He's to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, and down to the 29-yard line. Dalton Halm, the sophomore. Now a flag is thrown after the play. And so a big 17-yard pickup for Dalton Halm, and we'll see what they tack on with the flag. It's a personal foul against Carlinville, and that'll be half the distance to the goal line, and Marquette will be 1st down inside the 20. But a 17-yard pickup on the scramble by Halm.
Not a bad move by Halm as he cut back over his left side and broke free.
And then a major penalty against Carlinville. That'll be half the distance to the goal line. They'll take it down to the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Marquette right there. So 2 penalties on the opening possession against Carlinville has not helped their cause. And the Explorers are showing the ability to move the football, and Holm looks like he served notice that, hey, you cover the receivers downfield, and I'll just take off with it. Not only did he show the ability to find some open field, but he put some moves on, too.
Well, the rumors had been out there that this kid is a comer.
1st and 10, Marquette at the 14 of Carlinville. Here's the give to Utley right up the middle, and he's stacked up after a short gain. Steve Utley, the fullback, takes it down to the 11-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3, and he was about a step away from breaking it for even bigger yardage.
Well, that's what Marquette needs to do, is establish that fullback, and they've got a load there with Utley.
2nd down and 7 for the Explorers at the 11 of the Cavaliers. The opening series of the ball game. We're just inside of 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Marquette took the opening kickoff, and they're driving. Receivers left and right. Double wing formation, and now whistles and flags prior to the snap. And let's see what this call is, and maybe this time Marquette moved before the snap. We'll see. Illegal procedure against the Explorers.
You call it right, Sam.
Somebody jumped the snap count. So now each team with at least one penalty. Carlinville with 2, Marquette with 1. You kind of expect that early in the season, but as we said, in such a big game as this, I would guess Marquette's not had this big a game in their opener since the series with Jerseyville ended.
I think you're right.
Because that was always a big one. It didn't matter.
Because it set your season.
Yeah, it
really
did. Well, especially back in the days when Marquette was in the independent and they really couldn't afford to start with a loss, and here you started with Jerseyville. Now 2nd and 12, Explorers at the 17 of the Cavaliers. Here's the pitch back to Brimage. He makes a couple of moves and takes it inside to 15, down to about the 12. He gets 4 on that carry. And it's going to be 3rd and nearly 9 for Marquette at the 12 of Carlinville. 3rd and 8 is the call, but it's a long 8.
Well, Marquette needs to pick up this first down. They really do.
They send a receiver Jack Miller wide to the left side, double wing formation. Another receiver wide right. That's Derek Sterrett. And here is the give right up the middle. That's Utley, and Utley takes it inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. A gain of about 3 on that carry. And that brings about 4th and 5 for the Explorers, and it appears they leave the offense on the field.
I don't know how's their kicking this year.
Well, I don't know, but apparently now they're going to call a timeout and talk it over. 8:43 remaining in the first quarter. Marquette nothing, Carlinville nothing. Marquette facing a crucial 4th down. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
The more your life changes, the more your insurance needs change. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. In just minutes, I can conduct a free personal insurance review to help you determine how much and what type of coverage is right for you, with no costly gaps or overlaps. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance, today at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Right side, the run, the wing counter to the left, and it's Brimage, and Brimage turns it up, but he's going to be stacked up. Oh, the football is fumbled. It's loose at the 2, and let's see who covered it. If Marquette covered it, they've got a first down. If Carlinville covered it, it didn't matter. They were going to get the stop anyway, and Carlinville did cover it. And the Cavaliers are going to start 1st and 10 at their own 2 or 3 yard line. Well, Brimage, I thought, had a better chance if he had taken that wide, but he tried to cut it up inside as they ran that wing counter. And with his speed, you just wonder if he might not have outraced everybody to the corner of the end zone.
Well, there wasn't anybody out there on the left corner.
So Brimage on the carry needed 5. He picked up about 3, and then he coughed the ball up. It's a turnover, but they were going to turn it over anyway. And now the Cavaliers start 1st and 10 from their own 3-yard line. And here is the man hit in the backfield, shakes the tackle, and then takes it out to the 9-yard line. On that carry was Josh Reeves. Marquette had a shot at stopping him for a safety. He broke that tackle in the end zone and ends up picking up, we'll call it a gain of 7 out to the 10. 2nd down and 3 for the Cavaliers as they start their first possession of the season deep in their own territory. Double wing formation, Zach Dixon, the senior quarterback, and now they stop everything prior to the snap, although I don't see a flag, and apparently they just weren't satisfied with the way the ball was set. So they get that taken care of. Split backs behind Dixon. Here's the give again. It's Reeves, or maybe this time it's Darnell Scott, and he's stacked up for little or no gain. It was Darnell Scott on the carry. He gained a yard, and it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Cavaliers from their own 10-yard line, just outside the 10. So a big 3rd down play here. Marquette would love to force Carlinville to punt deep in their own territory. The Cavaliers desperately need a 1st down. Dixon under center, puts a man in motion to the left side, takes a snap, gives it to the fullback, and he just powers his way forward. And I think he's got the 1st down. That's Eddie Ray on the carry. We'll wait for the spot. Short. Well, it's going to be very, very close, isn't it? Well, they say it was Darnell Scott on the carry, followed the fullback, and they don't even measure. They say it's a 1st down. As they put the ball down just outside the 12. So Scott picked up 2 on that carry, and it's the first down of the evening for Carlinville. 1st and 10 at the 12 for the Cavaliers. A receiver wide to the right side, a man in motion to the right side, and Dixon drops to throw, lets it go. He's got a man wide open down the right sideline, and this could go all the way. Being pursued down that right sideline, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Cavaliers. An 88-yard touchdown pass from Zach Dixon. And making the reception for Carlinville was number 32, Nick Williams, and an 88-yard TD pass. He was wide open. Marquette had a blown coverage there. Actually, there were 2 receivers out there. And it was Nick Williams who took it in and went all the way down the right sideline. He was pursued by Dalton Holm, but he couldn't close any ground. And now the Cavaliers will attempt the extra point. Sean Crouch, and Carlinville has to call a timeout. Well, that definitely was not the kind of coverage that the Explorers expected to have out there, as that receiver Williams was wide open. And Dixon made no mistake. He put the ball right on the money, and then it was just a foot race down that right sideline, and Williams wasn't going to be caught. So the big play there for the Cavaliers. And now, Coach, you go back to the Marquette series. Marquette drove right down the field and got down there and put themselves in the hole with a procedure penalty. And that was the difference between getting a 1st and goal and turning the ball over to Carlinville.
That's right.
And then a blown coverage on the 88-yard TD pass. The touchdown pass came with 6:50 remaining here in the first quarter and puts Carlinville on top 6-0. And now Crouch will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Zach Dixon. Carlinville wasn't quite set to line it up, so they called it high snap. They get the ball down, the kick is up, it's high, it's long, and it's good. 6:50 remaining here in the first quarter. The score, Carlinville 7, Marquette nothing. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Supplier Pricing Plus at the East Side's newest and one of the largest Chevy dealerships, Jack Schmidt Chevy of Wood River, with 14 acres of selection and more selection. Now all with Supplier Pricing Plus. Save $8,165 on a new 09 half-ton Silverado. A new 09 Malibu LS, just $18,600. Hit the road with Jack Schmidt, with over 14 acres of service, selection, and savings.
Hit the road with Jack
Schmidt Chevy,
Jack Schmidt.
Wood River, Illinois.
Life is busy, and that's a good thing. Olin Community Credit Union helps me keep up with convenient checking services like free online banking and bill pay, 5 area locations, and free ATMs. They even provide extra deposit insurance to keep my money safe and sound. I know I can count on them, and that helps me give 100% to the people who are counting on me. Call Olin Community Credit Union today or visit them online at olincreditunion.org. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
Sam Stem with John Rogers back at Public School Stadium in Alton, nearing the midway point of the first quarter. Carlinville leads it 7-0, and now they kick it deep, and Travis Jones will watch it roll out of bounds at the 4-yard line, and Marquette will start with very good field position. Well, Marquette brought their return backs up that time, and Crouch tried to kick it over their heads and got it too close to the sideline, and Travis Jones wisely watched it sail out of bounds for the Explorers. And Marquette will start 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
35, I think, Sam.
You're right. But still, that's pretty good field position.
Yes, it is.
And the Explorers, who drove right down the field on their opening possession and then stalled inside the 5 after a key procedure penalty, now find themselves trailing as Carlinville mounted a 98-yard touchdown drive. The big play, the 88-yard touchdown pass. And now Holm takes a snap, turns, and they run the option. Holm turns it upfield and powers his way out to the 41-yard line. A gain of 5, maybe 6 on that carry by Dalton Holm as he bellied it to the fullback, pulled it back, and followed the fullback into the hole, and then cut it back and picked up 6.
Not bad for a sophomore, because that takes a lot of time to teach the quarterback that. If that fullback goes through free, you follow him right up the gut.
2nd down and 4 for the Explorers from their own 41. Receivers left and right, double wing formation. They put Brimage in motion to the left side and hand him the ball. He turns it right up the gut. And he's hit and tries to power his way forward, does to the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 on that carry and very close to a 1st down, but just the nose of the football shy. 3rd and inches for the Explorers. Brimage now 5 carries for 33 yards. 3rd and less than a foot for the Explorers, just shy of their own 45. Double wing, Jones in motion to the right side. They pitch it to Travis Jones. He's got the 1st down and then some. Crosses midfield. He's to the 40, to the 35, and tackled from behind. Down at the 33-yard line, a 1st down for Marquette on a big run. 23 yards on that carry for Travis Jones, his 1st of the night.
That was a good call by Coach Nelson, was that your 3rd and very short. Everybody expected the fullback to get the ball, and they ran that toss sweep around the right side.
1st and 10 Explorers at the Carlinville 33. Marquette, with its 2nd possession, has had no trouble moving the football. Receivers left and right. Brimage in motion to the left side. They give it to, it's going to be Holm right up the middle. He bellied it to the fullback and takes it down to the 21-yard line. A gain of 12 and another Marquette 1st down. And he really has shown in the early going the ability to read that option.
Well, as I said, Sam, he did the same thing 2 plays ago, is that he saw the fullback jump through, and he just followed him right up the hole.
The 4th 1st down here in the first quarter for the Explorers, down to 5:10 and counting remaining in the quarter. 1st and 10 Marquette at the Carlinville 21. Toss sweep to Brimage to the left side, cuts it back to the right. Dancing his way through some heavy timber and takes it down to the 15-yard line. Just shy of the 15, he picked up 5 when it didn't appear there was anything there.
No, he looked like he was going to get thrown for a big loss, and he cut it back inside and was able to pick up 5.
And he's not very big. Cecil Brimage is listed in the program as 5'10", 150. But Coach Nelson mentioned at the quarterback club Tuesday that he put on 13 pounds of muscle this summer. 2nd and 5 for the Explorers. Here's the give to Utley, and Utley drags tacklers with him down to the 11-yard line, just shy of the 10, and he's going to be very close to a 1st down. He picked up 5 on that carry, and they'll want to measure here because I think from here it looks, they're not going to measure. They say it's a 1st down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Explorers just outside the 10-yard line. They could get a first down at about the 1-foot line. So the Explorers drove deep into Carlinville territory on their first possession before a penalty set them back. Now they give it to Utley again, and this time he's stacked up after a gain of about 2 down to the 8. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Explorers. Utley, 4 carries for 13 yards. But the point I was trying to make about Brimage, even though he's not very big, 5'10", 150, he's fearless because on that previous carry, he put his head down and took on a tackler one-on-one, and the tackler lost his helmet.
He's a very smooth runner, Sam.
And fearless.
Yes.
2nd and 8 Explorers at the 8 of Carlinville. Now the Explorers jump, but actually, no. Marquette put a man in motion, and Carlinville jumped, and that's going to be half the distance against the Cavaliers. Travis Jones started in motion to the right side, and when he started the motion, Carlinville jumped. So they walk it off half the distance to the goal line, and they put it down at the 4, and it's going to be 2nd and about 4 for the Explorers right there. The 3rd penalty against the Carlinville Cavaliers. 2nd and 4 Explorers just outside the 4 of Carlinville. Jones in motion to the right side. They pitch it to Jones. Jones has blockers in front. He walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Key block by Cecil Brimage. A 4-yard touchdown run for Travis Jones, and the Explorers are an extra point shy of tying it. And the key block on that sweep to the right side was Cecil Brimage, who was lined up as the right wing back, and he just went and sealed off the edge, and Jones walked in. And now the extra point attempt by the Explorers. They've got too many people on the field. They get somebody off. Brimage will hold the snap, the spot, the kick. It's up, it's high, it's long, and it's good. We are tied. The extra point by Brogan Fisher, a freshman, and he drilled it through. 3:18 remaining in the first quarter. The score, Marquette 7, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're now approaching the island of Bora Bora. Enjoy your stay.
This beautiful home contains 8 bedrooms, 2 family rooms, and a private jacuzzi just off the master bedroom.
Hey, anybody up for a cruise in my sweet boat?
What are you going to do with all the money you save from buying your car at Roberts Motors?
Roberts Motors in Alton or online at RiverBender.com.
Honey, who does our car insurance?
State Farm.
And what about our house?
State Farm, too.
And what about our life insurance?
Why do you ask?
Well, I've got something to tell you.
Bringing new life into the world is one of many great reasons to talk about life insurance. So contact your State Farm agent today. They'll help you choose the right coverage.
Contact Tom Lane to discuss all of your life insurance needs at 377-8912 across from Gino's 140 Club in Bethalto.
To the 20, and what a tackle at about the 22-yard line. There to make the tackle for the Explorers was number 65, Jacob Carver, and he stopped the return man dead in his tracks.
Well, the guy who made the play was Eric Hules, number 70, 6'4", 200 pounds. He stopped him.
Brogan Fisher, the Marquette kicker. Coach Rogers asked during the break, said, I wonder if he's a soccer player. He's 5'5", 140, a freshman, listed as a fullback and a linebacker. But I think primarily he's a kicker. 1st and 10 Cavaliers from their own 21 or 22-yard line. Here's the give right up the gut, and a flag on the play as well. On the carry was the fullback for the Cavaliers, Eddie Ray, and he appeared to pick up about 5, but this penalty is going to go against the Cavaliers for procedure. They may have had an illegal, well, it's an illegal motion call, an illegal shift. So instead of 2nd and 5, it's going to be 1st and 15 for Carlinville. And they have been penalized 4 times for 28 yards. Marquette has dominated the play with their offense, but they gave up the big play on defense. And so now it's up to the Marquette defense to find a way to shut down Carlinville and give Marquette an opportunity to see if they can keep it moving with their offense. Two receivers wide to the right side, double wing formation. They put Reeves in motion to the right side and hand him the football as he passes the quarterback Dixon. And Reeves picks up 6 out to the 23-yard line. That'll be 2nd and 9 for the Cavaliers. Marquette with 6 first downs to 2 for Carlinville, but Carlinville had that 88-yard touchdown pass on their first possession to take the 7-0 lead. The Explorers have answered and tied it at 7. Two receivers wide right. Reeves in motion again to the right side. Now they run the counter to Scott, and Scott is hemmed in and thrown for a loss back at the 20-yard line. And again, I think that time it was Jacob Carver who sealed it off. Was not fooled by the counter. And they gave the running back, Scott, forward progress out to the 21, but it's a loss of 2. So a good job by Carver staying home on that one. Now 3rd and 11 Carlinville from their own 21 as we're down to 1:50 and counting remaining in the first quarter. And Dixon rolls to his right. He wants to throw, looking downfield, lets it go downfield and overthrows his man. The intended receiver out there had a step on Travis Jones, but Dixon surely didn't want to throw it short and have Jones step in and take it back to the house, so he overthrew his intended receiver. And now Carlinville will be in a punt situation, facing 4th and 11 from their own 21. And Marquette sends Cecil Brimage back to about midfield, awaiting this punt by Sean Crouch, who stands back at his own 11-yard line awaiting the snap. Now Marquette with some confusion, and the Explorers are going to have to take a timeout as they didn't have the right personnel out there. So that's the second timeout taken by Marquette here in the first quarter. 1:42 remaining in the quarter. Marquette 7, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
When you use Tycon Builders for any project, no matter how big or small, they don't decide when the job is finished. You do. They won't even accept final payment for your project until you're 100% satisfied. Tycon Builders is a locally owned and operated company, so when they work on a home, they're working on the home of a neighbor, and they want to make sure their neighbors are happy. For home improvements, small or large, call Tycon Builders for a free estimate. 465-7335. Tycon Builders. Cross the bridge to quality.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at WeberGC.com.
So the Explorers did the wise thing and called the timeout and said, hey, we got to cover the wide men, because if we don't, they'll just toss the football out there to them and they won't punt. So now it's Brimage standing back at his own 41, Travis Jones up at the Carlinville 47, and now Carlinville gets a line drive kick away as the punter looked like he wanted to run with it, and Marquette lets it roll dead all the way out at the 48, and that's not a good exchange for Carlinville. Good field position for Marquette.
No, Sam. It was what they call rugby kick.
Yep.
They didn't want to kick it deep to the Explorers receivers.
Well, you'll take that, though, if you're Marquette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was about a 26-yard punt. But when you got Brimage and Jones back there, you don't want them to return it either. So now the Explorers, with their third possession of the first quarter, start in Carlinville territory. 1st and 10 at the Cavalier 48-yard line. They put Jones in motion to the right side, and they hand him the football. Travis Jones turns that corner, takes it inside the 40. They're trying to rip the football from him. He hangs on to it and takes it down to the Carlinville 36-yard line. And that's a gain of 12 on the carry and the 7th first down of the quarter for Marquette.
That was a nice play, Sam. It was an inside counter where the wingback came in motion to his right, and there was a kick out block there. It could have been the guard or the tackle, and he just turned it right up inside.
Now Jones with 39 yards rushing on 3 carries. Brimage 38 yards rushing on 6 carries. Holm 35 yards rushing on 3 carries. And Utley 4 carries for 13 yards. They really spread it around. Now back to throw is Holm. He's hit as he lets it go. He was hammered. And lucky for Marquette, he just got it away before he was hit. And was that Zach Dixon?
No, it was Derek Sterrett. It was wide open down the middle.
But, I mean, it was Zach Dixon for Carlinville that hit him. He came on, I think he's a safety. He came on a safety blitz and hit Holm and nailed him. And Holm's
feeling it.
He's still readjusting his pads. But, yeah, Holm had somebody open, but he didn't have enough time to get it away as he was just nailed as he went to deliver the football. Now 2nd and 10 for the Explorers at the 36 of the Cavaliers. And they pitch it back to Brimage, and he tries to sweep that left side. Spins it back inside, takes it inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. A gain of about 4 on that carry for Cecil Brimage. And it's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Explorers as we're in the final minute of the first quarter, 40 seconds and counting. 4th and a long 6 for Marquette. Third, 3rd and 6 for the Explorers at the 33 of Carlinville. And you are in 2-down territory here, so you don't have to get it all on this down. 2 receivers to the left side, a wing to the left. And back to throw is Holm, looking out to the right side. Now he's going to run with it inside the 30, puts on a move at the 25 and dives forward to the 23-yard line. He's got the first down. He picked up 9 on that carry, and Holm has shown the ability to carry the loaf out there.
Well, for a sophomore, he shows a lot of poise. He really does.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. After 1 quarter of action here at Public School Stadium in Alton, it's Marquette 7, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
To-do lists rarely need more to do. So, at American Family, we offer a variety of products at affordable prices with the convenience of a single agent. From auto and homeowners to business and life insurance. This is Gerard Fisher with American Family Insurance. Give me a call at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Supplier Pricing Plus at the East Side's newest and one of the largest Chevy dealerships, Jack Schmidt Chevy of Wood River, with 14 acres of selection and more selection. Now all with Supplier Pricing Plus. Save $8,165 on a new 09 half-ton Silverado. A new 09 Malibu LS, just $18,600. Hit the road with Jack Schmidt, with over 14 acres of service, selection, and savings.
Hit the road with Jack.
Jack Schmidt Chevy, Wood River, Illinois.
As we start the second quarter, Marquette 7, Carlinville 7. 1st and 10, Explorers at the Carlinville 23-yard line. And Dalton Holm, the sophomore, brings the team to the line of scrimmage, but now we've got
equipment carry-off.
Somebody had something they needed to get off the field, so one of the linesmen came in and got it. On the first down play, they put Travis Jones in motion to the right side. They belly it to Utley, and Holm follows him. Holm still on his feet. Holm at the 5. Touchdown, Dalton Holm. A 23-yard touchdown run, and he must have broke 3 tackles along the way.
Well, he's done that 3 times tonight, Sam. He's bellied to that fullback and then followed that fullback right up the gut. A lot for a sophomore quarterback, I tell you that.
It comes on the first play of the second quarter. 11:51 remaining here in the first half. And now the extra point attempt by Brogan Fisher out of the hold of Cecil Brimage. Marquette has its first lead of the ball game. The snap, the spot, the kick. Fisher's kick is up, it's high, it's long, and it's good. 11:51 remaining in the first half. Marquette leads at 14-7, and let's take this opportunity. You and I both commented during a break a moment ago, and we'll comment about it on the air. It was 1987.
Oh, my God.
1987, And the opening week, Marquette's intended starting quarterback, Craig Hentrick, broke his collarbone just 3 days, I think, before the opener with Jerseyville. And a sophomore, Paul Johns, was inserted into the starting lineup. And the Explorers went up, played a valiant ball game at Jerseyville and lost. Went down the next week to Roxana and lost. Started 0-2 in an era when you had to have 7 wins to make the playoffs. Reeled off behind that sophomore quarterback, Paul Johns, 7 straight victories and went to the quarterfinals before being eliminated in the 3A playoffs this year. Now this year, Keenan Eberlin, 2 nights ago, sprains his ankle. Dalton Holm, the sophomore, steps in, and so far he's done a pretty good impersonation of Paul Johns. Now the return by the Cavaliers, big return right up the middle, all the way out to near the 40-yard line. Josh Reeves on that return. And the Cavaliers start with good field position, now trailing 14-7. But that's not to say Marquette's going to make a run to the quarterfinals of the playoffs, but Dalton Holm has certainly shown that as a sophomore quarterback, at least through 1 quarter of play, he's not intimidated by anything.
Well, he's the most impressive sophomore quarterback I've seen since Paul Johns. I tell you that, Sam.
1st and 10 Cavaliers from their own 40, now trailing 14-7. And Marquette has shown the ability to move the football on all 3 possessions. Here is the give to Darnell Scott, and he breaks tackles as he crosses the 45 and takes it out to the 47-yard line. And at this point, you wonder if Carlinville's not just going to say, okay, we're going to take our top-notch running backs and just come at you and carry you to stop
That's
us.
exactly what they did, Sam. They came back into a wishbone formation in which they have not run tonight and run a double lead off the left side.
2nd and 3, Carlinville from their own 47, again from the wishbone. Double lead to the left side. Darnell Scott, and he is stopped by Cecil Brimage at the Marquette 40, but not until he picks up 12 on that carry. And a first down, only the 3rd first down for Carlinville. But Scott showing that power running with following the fullback and the other halfback into that hole. 1st and 10 Cavaliers at the Marquette 40. And they stay with the wishbone. Double tight. And here it is, same play. Scott, double lead to the left side and dragging tacklers with him inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. And now a flag is thrown late in the play. And that's going to be a hold against the Cavaliers. And instead of 2nd and 4, they're going to be 1st and long. That offense, that double tight wishbone, looks real familiar to you, doesn't it?
Well, not really. We did run a wide out on that thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, ours was not a power offense. Ours was a triple option.
Yeah. But we've seen Marquette through the years, too, run that double tight wishbone as well as a power offense.
What we did was, late in the game, we would run that thing and just run the clock.
Grind it out. Carlinville now with 5 penalties for 38 yards. The Explorers, to their credit, have been penalized only 1 time, although it was a critical penalty. May have cost them a touchdown on their first possession. 1st and 17 for the Cavaliers, and now they give it to the fullback, and he's tripped up after a short gain, a gain of 2 on that carry by Eddie Ray. And it's 2nd and we'll call it 14 now. The clock rolling with 10:20 remaining in the first half. Well, this is a perfect football night.
For August, it certainly is.
Yeah.
Usually we're up here sweating bullets.
Well, this would be good for late September. Double tight wishbone, and now Zach Dixon calls for a timeout as he didn't like something he saw as he surveyed the Marquette defense. So that stops the clock with 10:03 remaining in the first half. It's Marquette 14, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Life is busy, and that's a good thing. Olin Community Credit Union helps me keep up with convenient checking services like free online banking and bill pay, 5 area locations, and free ATMs. They even provide extra deposit insurance to keep my money safe and sound. I know I can count on them, and that helps me give 100% to the people who are counting on me. Call Olin Community Credit Union today or visit them online at olincreditunion.org. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
What do I have to do to sell you a car?
Roberts Motors, easy to get to, just off Highway 67 or Highway 3 in Alton.
Carlinville timeout. 2nd and 14 Cavaliers at the Marquette 44, and now whistles and flags with the snap. And the Cavaliers are going to be penalized for illegal procedure, their 6th penalty of the first half.
Well, what Carlinville tried to do there was to go to a single back set and a double wing right and try to run a quickie out there, and someone moved before the ball was snapped.
Somebody was way too quick. So that moves it back to the Marquette 49-yard line. 2nd and 19, Carlinville. This is a critical juncture in the ball game now that Carlinville is backed up a little bit. If Marquette can hold them and get the ball back and continue to move the football, maybe they can put some distance. Carlinville, on the other hand, needs to find a way. Now they run a quick screen out to the left side, and that's Darnell Scott breaking tackles and running people over all the way down to the Marquette 34-yard line. And that's a pickup of 15 on that screen pass. That was a good call.
Well, it was just a little short screen to the left, and it was a quick screen. And action right and throw back, and the Explorers had taken the bait.
So after the 15-yard pickup, 3rd and 4 Carlinville at the Marquette 34-yard line. Split backs behind Dixon. And he gives it, he keeps it himself. He wiggles out of a tackle, now under pressure as he wants to throw. He's hit, and he's sacked all the way back at the 41-yard line. They're going to put it down at the 42, and that'll go as an 8-yard loss. Now they'll put it at the 41, a loss of 7 on the sack, and now 4th and 11 Carlinville, so a big sack by the Explorers.
Well, really, it's still a 4-down situation, I think, Sam. When anytime you've got
now they're going to punt. They're going to try to pin Marquette deep, or at least they line up in punt formation. They put a man in motion to the right side, and it's going to be that rugby punt again. And Brimage takes it in at the 12, breaks a tackle out across the 20, up the near sideline to the 30, cuts it back to the 35, still on his feet, all the way out to the 42-yard line, and they'd have been better off to run a play. If you're going to do that, you got to kick it out of bounds. You can't kick it to Brimage. And Brimage took it from the 12 all the way out to the 42, a return of 30, a return of 31 to the 43.
So much for rugby kicks.
Well, there's no way in the world that you can kick it to Brimage. You know, if they'd have kicked it out of bounds at the 20, they'd have been
with that rugby kick is that you have no chance to aim where you want to put it.
1st and 10 Explorers from their own 43, leading by 7. Holm now tries to run the option to the right side, and that time he'd have been better off to pitch it. He kept it himself. And no gain on the play by Dalton Holm, and now you got to be a little bit concerned with his early success that he doesn't get too sweet on calling his own number. Well, too overconfident in his own ability.
You're right. That's another problem with having a sophomore. If it's worked 3 or 4 times, it will work every time. It doesn't do it that way.
Well, he had a pitch back there and decided to turn it up himself, and he was hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd and 10 Explorers. Receivers left and right. Double wing formation. They put Brimage in motion to the left side, and Holm is going to roll to the right, and he is sacked. And finally they blow the whistle, but Carlinville doesn't stop running him into the ground. First of all, I thought the official could have blown the whistle a little bit sooner, and then Carlinville didn't really stop after the whistle. They're going to say Holm went down at the 28, so that's going to be a loss of about 15.
Well, if you're going to run that bootleg, you need to have somebody roll out of there, an interior lineman, to protect the quarterback from that. All you need is just a chip block to knock that guy out of the way.
3rd and 24 for the Explorers from their own 29-yard line. Receivers left and right, double wing formation. They put Travis Jones in motion to the right side and run the wing counter to Cecil Brimage, and he finds running room up the left sideline. Now he cuts it back at the 40, out to the 45 to the 46-yard line. And he got a big chunk of it back, but Marquette for the first time tonight will be in a punting situation. He picked up 16 on that carry, and it's going to be 4th and 8 for the Explorers. Brimage has shown that he's pretty fond of trying to cut it back against the grain. That time, I thought maybe he'd have been better off to stay up the left sideline.
I agree with you, Sam. I think if we just do that juke inside and come back out, he could have picked up the first down.
Now the Explorers in punt formation, Dalton Holm, and Marquette will use its final timeout. 5:52 remaining in the first half. It's Marquette 14, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
So we'll retire to the mountains.
Oh, but I love the ocean.
There are places you want to get to in life, like retirement. And now your State Farm agent can help guide you with the free State Farm Insurance and Financial Review to prioritize your needs and help you plan a roadmap for your financial future.
Come on, nothing beats pine trees.
Except for palm trees.
Call and schedule yours today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Contact Tom Lane to lay out your roadmap to retirement today at 377-8912 across from Gino's 140 Club in Bethalto.
When you use Tycon Builders for any project, no matter how big or small, they don't decide when the job is finished, you do. They won't even accept final payment for your project until you're 100% satisfied. Tycon Builders is a locally owned and operated company, so when they work on a home, they're working on the home of a neighbor, and they want to make sure their neighbors are happy. For home improvements, small or large, call Tycon Builders for a free estimate. 465-7335. Tycon Builders. Cross the bridge to quality.
And they run the fake. They snap it to one of the up men, but Marquette will not get the first down out near midfield. They snapped it to Utley, and he picked up 6 when he needed 8. He picked up about 5, just out to midfield. So Carlinville was not fooled. And now the Cavaliers will have great field position again at midfield. And actually, Marquette's much in the same position as Carlinville. You really don't want to kick the football to their return men. And now the double tight wishbone formation and whistles and flags at the snap. They stop the play. And let's see who this one goes against. Were the Explorers in the neutral zone? No. Illegal formation against Carlinville. So apparently they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. That is the Cavaliers' 7th penalty of the first half for 48 yards. Marquette has been penalized 1 time. So you know what the folks sitting in the stands over on the far side are saying, don't you?
Home cooking. Is that what they're saying?
I'm pretty sure. I can't.
Now I've been to Carlinville before, and I've got home cooking up there also.
1st and 15 Cavaliers from their own 45-yard line. Dixon takes the snap, turns, gives it to his fullback. That's Darnell Scott on the carry. And he has good yardage, a 10-yard, an 11-yard pickup all the way down, a 12-yard pickup to the Marquette 43-yard line for Darnell Scott. Scott, 6 carries for 31 yards. So what was 1st and 15 now becomes 2nd and 3 for the Cavaliers, and they have shown the ability at times to have a power running game with Scott. 2nd down and 3, Carlinville at the Marquette 43-yard line. A receiver and a wing to the right side. They put a man in motion to the right side and give it to the fullback. And Scott pounds his way forward, and he's going to come up just shy of the first down, I think, just shy of the 40-yard line. Scott picks up 2. He needed 3, and it's going to be 3rd and a very short yard for the Cavaliers. But now Scott, slow in getting up, still can't get up. And yet nobody comes from the far sideline to assist him. And he's pretty wobbly. He says he wants to stay in there, but they can't let him stay in there. And now he will stay in. He doesn't need to, though, does he? He's still got I don't know if his bell was wrong or he's still shaken up, and now Carlinville's probably going to have to call a timeout or get a delay of game here. Well, they finally hustle up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and less than a yard, and here is the give, and it's going to be a first down, but not by much. A gain of a yard on that carry, and that was Josh Reeves on the carry, and he hit the line of scrimmage standing straight up, and lucky for him, nobody was right there to fill immediately. He picked up the yard they needed, but not much more. Only the 4th first down here in the first half for Carlinville. 1st and 10. At the Marquette 39-yard line. We're down to 4:26 and counting remaining in the first half. Marquette leading at 14-7 after Carlinville took an early 7-0 lead. They put a man in motion to the left side and give it to Scott, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage for little or no gain on that carry.
Scott is hurting.
He is hurting. He doesn't need to be in the ballgame right now.
Because he was awfully slow off the count.
He picked up a yard on that carry. Derek Sterrett made the tackle for the Explorers. 2nd down and 9 for Carlinville at the Marquette 38-yard line. Reeves the wing to the right. And Scott, you can tell when he lines up that he's not feeling real good. Now they pitch it back to Reeves, and he cuts it back. Has good yardage right up the gut down to the 30 of the Explorers. A pickup of 8 on that carry. It's going to be 3rd and 1 Carlinville. So the Cavaliers on the last couple of series have put themselves in good position with 3rd and short. And they're in territory here, so they'll have a couple of cracks at picking up a yard here to keep the drive alive as the clock continues to roll with 3:10 remaining in the first half. Now they go double tight and to the wishbone formation, and the ball is fumbled on the snap. Scott covers it as it went right through the hands and the legs of the quarterback Dixon. And Scott, who was lined up as the fullback, covered it back at the 32-yard line for a loss of 2, and now it becomes 4th and 3. So now Carlinville, after fumbling the snap on 3rd and 1, faces 4th and 3 at the Marquette 32. And now Chad Easterday says we better take a timeout.
That's their last.
It is their final timeout. 2:34 remaining in the first half. Marquette 14, Carlinville 7. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home, with no upfront endowment and just one monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at RiverBender.com.
4th and 3, Carlinville at the Marquette 32. Double tight, wishbone formation. Dixon takes the snap, turns, gives it on the double lead to the left side to Scott, and Scott has the first down inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. He picked up about 5 on that carry. He only needed 3, and the 5th first down of the first half for Carlinville. Darnell Scott, 10 carries for 36 yards. Carlinville has not consistently moved the football. Their scoring play was an 88-yard touchdown strike. 1st and 10 Cavaliers at the Marquette 28-yard line. Double tight wishbone formation. Double lead to Scott to the left side. Breaks a tackle. Now he's stacked up, but still gains good yardage inside the 25. Down to about the 23-yard line. A gain of 5 on that carry for Darnell Scott. Scott 11 carries for 41 yards. 2nd and 5 Cavaliers. They desperately would like to cap this drive off, a drive that started at midfield after Marquette faked a punt and came up shy. But they're looking for a tying touchdown here in the waning moments of the first half. 2nd and 5, Scott, the double lead to the left side. He has first down yardage and then some, dragging tacklers with him inside the 15, finally finished off at about the 13-yard line, but not until he gains 10 on that carry. And they'll stop the clock now to move the chains as it's the 6th first down of the night for the Cavaliers. And the clock stopped with 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. Now they roll the clock. Carlinville with no timeouts remaining. 1st and 10 at the Marquette 13-yard line. Double tight wishbone formation. Double lead to the left side. Scott once again. Lots of running room. Now he lost the football. And let's see who got it. They're going to say Carlinville covered it. Scott fumbled the football inside the 10 down at about the 7-yard line, but apparently he recovered his own fumble. Somebody in a Carlinville jersey covered it, and that was after Scott picked up 7 on the carry. 2nd and a long 3 for the Cavaliers at the Marquette 7-yard line. Now they break the bone. They put wings to each side of the field with receivers left and right. Put a man in motion to the left side, and Dixon's going to throw. Going for the back corner, and he's got his man. It's a touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Zach Dixon. And making the reception. Now the official's going to call an official's timeout as we have an Explorer injured. Was that Mike Archibald out there? It was a nice catch and a nice throw by Dixon. Apparently making the reception for Carlinville. Well, we're trying to figure that out. I thought it was Mike Archibald. But we'll double check that and get it squared away. It was all the way in the far corner. And now Sean Crouch will attempt the extra point, but it was a 7-yard touchdown pass, the second TD pass of the night for Zach Dixon. Here's the extra point attempt, up high, long, and it's good. And with 36 seconds remaining in the first half, the score is tied. It's Marquette 14, Carlinville 14. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at WeberGC.com.
By a 7-yard touchdown pass from Zach Dixon to Mike Archibald. It came with 36 seconds remaining in the half and tied the score at 14. It was a dandy throw by Dixon.
Yes, it was. It was a soft throw right over the shoulder.
And an equally impressive catch by Dixon back there at the pylon. Marquette had pretty good coverage. Travis Jones among the defenders back there. But with a throw like that, and Archibald has some height. He's listed as 5'11", and Travis Jones for the Explorers listed as 5'8". Now the short kick, and the Explorers bring it back to their own 46. One of the up men on the return. And so now Marquette will have 31 seconds remaining to try to move 54 yards.
It was Jimmy Lawless that made the return.
So again, Carlinville not the least bit interested in kicking it deep to Brimage and Jones. That gives Marquette good field position, but the Explorers have very little time to work with, and at best they have one timeout. We're a bit unsure whether it's one or none, but at most it's one. Dalton Holm under center takes a snap, and he lost the snap. They had a little trouble with the exchange, and now they're going to stop the clock. Marquette, no, there was a penalty flag, so that's why they stopped the clock. Or was there?
Yeah, there's a flag out there.
Was there a little extracurriculars there on the pileup? Yeah, a personal foul against Carlinville. So that's going to be a 15-yard walk-off, and it'll move it inside the Carlinville 40-yard line. And now it's starting to get a little bit interesting with 20 seconds remaining.
I think what happened there, Sam, was the nose guard tried to take a swipe at the ball as it was being snapped. I think that's what it was.
All right. And that's why the trouble with the exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes down as a personal foul. First down for the Explorers, their 10th of the first half at the 38 of Carlinville. They mark the ball ready for play with 20 seconds remaining in the half. Marquette with two receivers to each side of the field. Holm drops to throw, rolling to his right. Now he steps up. A flag is thrown. That's going to be
hold, I think.
Hold against Marquette, and Holm takes it down to the 22-yard line before he's run out of bounds, and a flag thrown there as well. Perhaps a late hit or a face mask. So in the end, it's going to be offsetting penalties, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Marquette once again, now with 8 seconds left. But there's your sophomore quarterback for you again. There, even if you pick up 20 yards on the scramble, you eat up too much time. You have to find a receiver downfield in that situation or throw it away. It was a horse collar against Carlinville, a hold against Marquette, offsetting penalties. It's going to be 1st and 10 Explorers at the 38 of the Cavaliers, but now just with 8 seconds left. And now it's time for the old Hail Mary. Now you just want to send as many men deep as you can and heave it up into the end zone and hope one of your guys comes down with it.
I just send Brimage around in.
Well, that too. That's a possibility. Because he does have the ability to break it at any time. Now the officials having more discussion.
It's back at the original spot. That's where it should be.
So after the offsetting penalties, 1st and 10 Marquette at the 38 of the Cavaliers. The only thing that counted on that play was the 12 seconds that came off the clock. So receivers left and right, wings left and right. They put Travis Jones in motion to the right side, and they roll Holm to the right. And now he's going to scramble with it again, but he's got to go all the way. He takes it down to the 30-yard line, and the time runs off the clock, and that's the end of the first half of play. The score, Marquette 14, Carlinville 14. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Jack Schmidt Chevrolet, the #1 GM certified dealer in Southern Illinois. Olin Community Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Tycon Builders, 25 years of quality construction services. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Weber Granite City Chevrolet, Buy American. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof.
Well, the Carlinville Cavaliers won the opening toss of the coin, and they deferred their choice. So in this 14-14 tie, they will receive the second half kickoff and defend the east goal. So the Explorer kicker, Brogan Fisher, has the ball teed at his own 40. And we're set for we'll be set for the second half in about 10 seconds. They're waiting for the time to run off the clock. Everybody's ready to go, but
Terry.
Well, now we'll reset the clock to 12 minutes. The referee will give the indication, and we will be underway. Marquette 14, Carlinville 14. Sam Stem and John Rogers with you, and away we go. It's going to be Reeves from his own 15 to the 20 to the 25 to the 30 to the 31-yard line, where the tackle is made by the Explorers' Angelo Cross. Angelo Cross, we called his number a lot last year because he played in the backfield on offense, but now he's been moved to the line, a guard on offense, and a key figure on defense as well from his linebacker position.
Dorsey's another one of those kids that put on some weight.
Yes, indeed.
He's about, 215, something like that?
Well, let's see what they list him as. 200.
200.
First and 10 Cavaliers from their own 31. Double lead to the right side. Reeves is stacked up after a gain of about 3 on that carry. Well, he took it from the 31 to the 33. That's a gain of 2. Josh Reeves with only his 5th carry. Second down and 8. Last year, Marquette was victorious in Carlinville 13-12 in a classic Marquette-Carlinville battle. And it looks like another one of those might be brewing right here. There have been playoff games between these teams. There have been regular season classics, as I said. Now here looks like a busted play. A flag is thrown. And on the carry, the Cavaliers pick up a couple, but now we'll check out the flag. Illegal procedure against Carlinville. Their 9th penalty of the night for a total of 68 yards. So instead of a gain of 2 or 3 on that carry, they'll walk off the 5. Well, they walked it off from the wrong spot. They walked it off from where the play ended. Now they got it straightened out. See, you and I are almost in mid-season form. These guys are, having trouble.
We've done it so long, Sam.
That could be. Second and 13 Cavaliers, and now here is the give, and that's Reeves trying to sweep the right side, and he finds precious little running room. He might have gained a yard at most. That's that play they call jet, or at least Coach Slaughter said they called it jet when he coached. You put the wing back in motion, and just about the time he gets behind the quarterback, you snap it and hand it to him.
Okay.
You never ran that.
We didn't have backs fast enough.
You didn't have anybody,
including Slaughter.
Yeah. You didn't have anybody who was qualified to be called a jet. Third and 12 Cavaliers, and again they run the jet to the right side, and this is Reeves, and Reeves is going to be run out of bounds out across the 35 to the 37 or 38 yard line, but well shy of the first down. Let's see where they put it down. They'll put it at the 37. So they picked up about 8 on that carry. But surely,
should be 4th down, shouldn't it?
Yes, it is. It's 4th and 4, and they'll drop into punt formation. I think that's Dixon as the punter. And Brimage back deep for the Explorers, standing at his own 34. It is Dixon, and they try that rugby kick again, and this time it works as Brimage watches it hit, and it rolls all the way down to the Marquette 22-yard line. So for the first time tonight, that rugby-style kick worked to Carlinville's advantage as Brimage ran over like he might try to run under it, then thought better of it. And it took the Carlinville roll all the way down to the Marquette 23 is where they're going to put it down. First and 10 Explorers right there, their first possession of the second half. Carlinville jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Marquette led 14-7. Carlinville tied it in the final minute of the first half, and now the Explorers with their first possession of the second half. And here is Holm keeping it himself. Nice move, Dalton Holm fumbles the football, and Carlinville has recovered. Holm was stacked up and carried the football like a loaf of bread, and when he was hit a second time, he coughed it up, and the Cavaliers recover at the Marquette 31-yard line. The Explorers' second turnover of the night.
Well, what Holm has got to understand is that, he did some right things in the first half, but the thing is that he's a sophomore, and he's got the people behind him that can carry the football. Don't overstep your...
He picked up 10 on that carry, but it was the second hit after he'd been stacked up. Now here is the give to Darnell Scott on the wing counter to the left side. And Scott takes it inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line, a gain of 5 on that carry. So now Marquette looks to their defense and says, now we need a stop on a short field. Carlinville, on its final possession of the second half, or the first half, drove 50 yards. That was their shortest field of the night after Marquette was unsuccessful with a fake punt. 2nd and 5 Cavaliers, double tight wishbone formation, and the double lead to the left side. That's Darnell Scott. He's stacked up but keeps the pile moving inside the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. He picks up 3, and it's going to be 3rd and 2. Scott, 15 carries for 66 yards, the leading rusher tonight for the Cavaliers. Another of their weapons, Bobby Simmons, not dressed here tonight. 5 Cavaliers not dressed because of disciplinary reasons. Now 3rd and 2 Carlinville at the Marquette 23-yard line. Double tight wishbone formation. Zach Dixon turns, gives a double lead to the left side to Scott. He's got the first down to the 20-yard line. He picked up 3 on that carry. That's Carlinville's 8th first down of the night. The first first down here in the second half.
The Explorers sent a linebacker that time, and he almost got into the backfield, but that's not where you shoot that linebacker. You shoot that linebacker right off tackle or right inside tackle.
1st and 10 Carlinville at the Marquette 20-yard line. They stay with the wishbone formation, double tight end set. Zach Dixon, the senior quarterback, turns. The double lead to the right side to Reeves, and Reeves tries to cut it back. He's inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line. A gain of 3 on that carry for Josh Reeves. And actually, initially, that play looked like it was going to go for more than that, but Reeves a little bit indecisive as to whether to cut back or not, and that gave the Explorer defenders time to close. 2nd down and 7, Cavaliers at the Marquette 17-yard line. Double tight wishbone. Zach Dixon takes the snap. Double lead to the right side. That's Reeves. This time he breaks a tackle on his feet inside the 10 all the way down to the 6-yard line. A pickup of 11 for Josh Reeves and another first down for the Cavaliers. 1st and goal Carlinville. And they're looking to regain the lead. They led 7-0 early, trailed 14-7 up until just before halftime when they tied the score. And following a Marquette fumble, they're looking to punch it in. 1st and goal at the 6. Double tight wishbone. Here's the give to Reeves. Reeves on his feet inside the 5. He's into the end zone. He fumbles the football into the end zone. And it's a touchdown for the Cavaliers as they cover it in the end zone. And Explorer had a shot at the loose football, but finally Carlinville did cover it. And I think it was the fullback, Eddie Ray, who covered the fumble, and he'll get credit for the touchdown. Reeves took it the 6 yards, but fumbled just shy of the goal line. And it was Eddie Ray who covered it for the touchdown. So give Ray credit for a touchdown carry, even though he covered the football in the end zone after the fumble. Now the extra point attempt by Crouch. The snap, the spot, the kick. It's up, it's high, it's long, it's good. And now with 7:07 remaining in the third quarter, Carlinville has regained the lead. The Cavaliers 21 and the Explorers 14. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver does and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
With John Rogers, Sam Stem back at Public School Stadium in Alton. Some confusion as to whether Reeves carried it into the end zone. They did not signal touchdown, and the ball came loose. A couple of Explorers had a shot at it, and I think Eddie Ray will get credit for the touchdown. Now the squib kick covered by the Explorers just shy of their own 30-yard line. Brett Greenwell covers it. And Marquette now trailing for the second time in the ball game. Will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. And we were singing the praises of Dalton Holm early in this game, but he's had a few problems as well, including that fumble on the last possession. And I'm not sure. Yeah, that's still Holman, their quarterback. On the first down play, the give to Etley, the fullback, right up the middle. He's got running room to midfield. 45, 40, 35, and caught from behind at the 33-yard line. Steve Etley, a 32-yard carry and a first down for the Explorers, their first of the second half.
Well, that's what you need to do if you're going to run that option offense, is to soften up the middle of that fullback. I think that's maybe the third time he's carried the ball tonight.
37 yards on the carry for Etley. It was his 6th carry.
6th carry?
Yeah, but he had 5 for 18, and then 37 right there. On the first down play, here is the pitch back now to Brimage as they ran the option to the left side. Brimage, did he fumble the football? No, he's still on his feet down to the 19-yard line. Now, that was a weird-looking play. And Holm that time was hit across the line of scrimmage, pitched it back. It was almost a forward pitch. And then Brimage took it and finished it off and took it all the way down to the 19-yard line. And that ends up being a gain of 14 on the carry for Brimage.
That's the way if you're going to run the option.
I would have liked to seen him pitch it a little bit sooner. Though. Before he was in the arms of a prospective tackler. 1st and 10 Explorers at the 19 of the Cavaliers. Jones in motion to the right side. They run the option to the right side. Holm turns it upfield. Holm on his feet. He's in for the touchdown. Dalton Holm, a 19-yard carry. He read that one beautifully. And the Explorers are an extra point shy of tying it. And that's Holm's second touchdown run of the night. Dalton Holm, 9 carries, 104 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. That game was 6:09 remaining, and now the freshman kicker will attempt to add the extra point. Brogan Fisher out of the hold of Cecil Brimage, and he drills it through. And once again, we are tied. And you get the feeling, don't you, that this is going to be another one of those Marquette-Carlinville battles that may go right down to the wire. 6:09 remaining in the third quarter. Marquette 21, Carlinville 21. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
to-do lists rarely need more to do. So, at American Family, we offer a variety of products at affordable prices with the convenience of a single agent. From auto and homeowners to business and life insurance. This is Gerard Fisher with American Family Insurance. Give me a call at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Life is busy, and that's a good thing. Olin Community Credit Union helps me keep up with convenient checking services like free online banking and bill pay, 5 area locations, and free ATMs. They even provide extra deposit insurance to keep my money safe and sound. I know I can count on them, and that helps me give 100% to the people who are counting on me. Call Olin Community Credit Union today or visit them online at olincreditunion.org. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
Marquette 21, Carlinville 21. Each team has led at one point in the ball game. There have been 2 ties, 14 and 21. And Dalton Holm, the Marquette sophomore quarterback who was pressed into service because Keenan Eberlin sprained an ankle a couple of nights ago, has 104 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And now the Explorers kick it away, and it's returned by Reeves from his own 11, right up the middle of the 15 to the 20 to the 25, and met there and tackled at the 29-yard line. On the tackle for the Explorers, Eric Hewells. And now the Cavaliers start 1st and 10 from their own 28. So Holm in this half fumbled on his first carry on the Explorers' first possession, set Carlinville up on a short field, which allowed the Cavaliers to take it in for the lead, but then he comes back and leads the team right down the field and caps it off with a 19-yard scoring run of his own. Receiver wide to the left side, the backs in the wishbone formation behind Dixon, and here is the give to Darnell Scott, and he powers his way out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Dalton Holm makes the tackle there, but a gain of 6 on that carry for Darnell Scott. Scott was shaken up late in the first half, but he seems to have shaken that off. And Scott has 17 carries for 75 yards in this ball game. He is their workhorse. The Explorers can thank their lucky stars, though, that Bobby Simmons is not dressed tonight because he's their speedster. Josh Reeves has carried 9 times for 47 yards. 2nd and 4, Cavaliers from their own 33. Now they give it to the fullback, and he's stacked up. Or no, they didn't give it to the fullback. The quarterback kept it himself, I think. Was that Dixon on the carry? No, they did give it to the fullback, and Eddie Ray picks up a couple. Actually, a 3-yard pickup all the way out to the 37. 3rd and a long yard for the Cavaliers. The ball spotted just shy of the Cavalier 37-yard line, and they've got to get across the 38. Now the Explorers nearly jumped into the neutral zone, and here they go with a quarterback sneak. A flag is thrown at the snap, and the Explorers say the ball came loose, and Marquette is claiming they have the football, but now we've got all kinds of things to sort out here. A flag with the snap, not a good exchange between the quarterback and the center, and you wonder this time, maybe did the Marquette nose guard slap at the football?
Well, maybe the nose guard jumped, or the linebacker crossed the neutral zone. That's what I'm thinking.
Lots of discussion amongst the officials. Apparently they're taking a vote. They're talking with the Explorers. Steve Etley, one of the captains, he's part of the discussion anyway. Well, the Explorers might have a decision here to make too. It might be 4th and 2 if the play stands, but they're going to walk off yardage against Carlinville. Illegal shift. Illegal motion and a 5-yard walk-off against the Cavaliers. Their 10th penalty for a total of 73 yards. And now Carlinville faces third and a long 6 from their own 32. They have to go out across the 38. Third and 6, Carlinville. Receivers left and right, a man in motion to the right side, and now the snap is fumbled. Another flag is thrown, and I think that time everybody went but the center, or didn't know they threw a beanbag. So now it's 4th and 6 for Carlinville as they fumbled the snap and gained nothing on the play. And Carlinville will have to go into punt formation. Cecil Brimage will go back for the Explorers. Now in this rugby punt, he always runs to the right. Maybe your rushers ought to angle to the spot where he's going to run to. They do this time and force him to get the kick away, and Brimage calls for the fair catch, fumbles it, and covers it back at his own 28-yard line. So Marquette will start 1st and 10 right there. Marquette 21, Carlinville 21, 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And the Explorers, who have shown the ability to move the football all night long, only a couple of turnovers have cost them perhaps even more points on the scoreboard. And the sophomore quarterback, Dalton Holm, leads them out. 1st and 10 for Marquette from their own 28. Receivers left and right. Derek Sterrett wide to the right side. They put Brimage in motion to the left side. They run the option to the left side. A flag is thrown. And Holm is stacked up at the line of scrimmage as he had nobody to pitch it to, as they also had somebody on Brimage who was the pitchback. But Marquette had an illegal shift. I think they had 2 men in motion. Only the second penalty of the night against the Explorers. 2 minor penalties. And it'll be 1st and 15 for the Explorers. Well, surely Carlinville will accept the penalty. Maybe not. They might want Marquette to have 2nd and 10. No, they're going to walk it off now. 1st and 15 for the Explorers from their own 23-yard line. Down to 3:25 remaining here in the third quarter. We were tied at 14 at halftime. Carlinville took a 21-14 lead. And the Explorers on their last possession tied it. Now, here's Travis Jones trying to sweep to right side. He tries to cut it back, slips on the turf, and then is just hammered to the ground. And Travis Jones ends up picking up maybe 2 at the best. We'll call it a gain of a yard.
It's too bad Jones didn't get outside because there was tremendous crackback block there. It just knocked the kid from Carlinville right on his appetite. Of course, crackback blocks are illegal, I guess. They used to be.
Receivers left and right. Double wing formation. 2nd and 14 Marquette from their own 24. And here they give it on the counter right up the middle. It's Brimage juking his way out across the 35. He lost the football. And who's got it here? Etley says Marquette does, but he's not wearing a striped shirt, so his opinion really doesn't count. But as they unstack him, it appears Marquette did recover the fumble. I'm not sure who got on it. And now Josh Reeves is slow in getting up for Carlinville, so Brimage took it out to the 33-yard line, and now they'll measure. So he took it from the 24 to the 33, a gain of 9. And let's see here if Marquette got a first down out of it. It was the first time Marquette fumbled and did lose it. That was the good news. And Marquette has a first down. Their 13th of the night, only their 3rd here in the second half. Well, actually, that's not the 33, that's the 38. So that was a 13-yard pickup for Cecil Brimage. So 10 carries for 85 yards. See, that's what happens when I claim we're at midseason form and it turns out we're not, or at least I'm not. You might be. Brimage in motion to the left side. They run the option to the left side, and Holm is stacked up for no gain on the play. He might have lost a half yard. And Carlinville's not fooled by that play anymore. That's kind of a counter. They fake, bring all the motion to the right side, and then they run an option to the left side. And the last two times they run that, not only has Carlinville shut off Holm at the line of scrimmage, but they've also had Brimage, the pitchback, covered. No gain on that carry for Dalton Holm. 2nd down and 10, Explorers from their own 38. Double wing with receivers left and right. Now they give it on the wing counter to Travis Jones. He steps inside a tackler, breaks another tackle at the 40, and pounds his way out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 4 on that carry for Travis Jones. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Explorers. And now we've got a Cavalier down and injured.
Cramp, it looks like.
And while it's not a particularly warm night, it is humid. And that's a Cavalier going off the field. That's Eddie Ray, who plays both ways. And so he'll try to get some fluids in him and shake off that cramp. And I'm sure we'll see him again. Down to 1:30 and counting, remaining in the third quarter. 3rd and 6, Carlinville. 3rd and 6, Marquette, from their own 43-yard line. Holm, 2-step drop, quick pass out to the right side. He's got his man, he's got a first down. Out to the 49-yard line, Derek Sterrett makes the reception and picks up 6 on the play. Good for an Explorer first down.
That was nicely run. Just a little 2-step look-in pass to the big tight end.
Derek Sterrett with his first reception. He's a sophomore. Wears number 85. And he's listed as 6'4", 190. A 6'4" receiver is a pretty good weapon if he's got good hands. No receiver's a weapon if he doesn't have good hands. Here is Holm running the option to the right side. Pitches it back to Jones. A very risky pitch. And Jones crosses midfield and takes it down to the Carlinville 42-yard line. We've got another Cavalier down and injured, and I think we've got another cramp. That's Josh Reeves, another one of their two-way performers. That was a very risky pitch by Holm, but it turned out to work well for the Explorers. An 8-yard pickup for Travis Jones and very nearly a forward pass.
I think it was.
I do too. We had a pretty good angle, so the Explorers might have gotten a break there. 2nd and 2. Marquette at the Carlinville 43-yard line. Brimage in motion to the left side. They haven't handed to Brimage. He tries to spin off a tackle at the line of scrimmage, does, and dives forward to the 40-yard line, and he picks up 3 on the carry and another first down, the 15th of the night for the Explorers. Brimage, although he's not terribly big, does not go down easily, and that time he had to fight amongst some tall timber to pick up the first down, and that's the end of the third quarter. The score, Marquette 21, Carlinville 21. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're now approaching the island of Bora Bora. Enjoy your stay. This beautiful home contains 8 bedrooms, 2 family rooms, and a private jacuzzi just off the master bedroom. Hey, anybody up for a cruise in my sweet boat?
What are you going to do with all the money you save from buying your car at Roberts Motors?
Roberts Motors in Alton or online at RiverBender.com.
Your kids now have kids of their own. I'm State Farm Agent Tom Lane. With just a simple gift, your grandchildren may experience a lifetime of life insurance. Give me a call at 377-8912 in Bethalto to discuss the many options that are available to provide your grandchildren with a gift of life. For great products and service that are available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, call me, Tom Lane, at 377-8912.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It'll be 1st and 10 Marquette at the Carlinville 40-yard line when we start the fourth quarter. The score tied at 21-all. Tomorrow morning here on Z1570 at 11 o'clock, it's Sports Talk with Brent Birkeland. scores, highlights, coaches' interviews, and more. A complete recap of all the Friday night action. And then we've got 3 play-by-play events for you throughout the afternoon, starting at 12 noon, Civic Memorial in DuQuoin, followed by East Alton, Wood River, and Vandalia about 2 o'clock. And then about 4 o'clock, Pana and Roxana. So you'll get to hear all the play-by-play. 1st and 10 Explorers at the Carlinville 40-yard line, and here is it's going to be Holm keeping it himself after he bellied it to the fullback, and he'll pick up another first down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
I don't know if you saw it or Sam, there's a wide out clear over here to the left side of the field. No one covered him. Doesn't mean that we could have hit him, but
so Dalton Holm picks up the Explorers' 16th first down of the night, an 11-yard pickup. He has 115 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And 3 days ago didn't think he'd be the starter. Now Brimage in motion to the left side. They run the option. Oh, no, they gave it that time to the fullback Etley, I guess. And he was stacked up for little or no gain. No gain on the carry. Well, one thing you knew coming into this ball game, you knew Carlinville was going to be prepared to stop Steve Etley because he is
the man,
the fullback. And so Marquette has spread it around. 11 carries for Cecil Brimage for 88 yards, 6 carries for Travis Jones for 52 yards, and Holm has carried 11 times. Now here's Brimage sweeping to the left side. Brimage spins past one tackler to the 20 and tackled from behind at the 18-yard line. Oh, Brimage made a move at the line of scrimmage, a spin move. Now Angelo Cross is down and injured for the Explorers. Let's hope this is a cramp. Cross up, and now he goes down again. That would be a key loss for the Explorers if this is more than a cramp. Angelo Cross writhing in pain back at the 29-yard line. But Brimage took it down to the 18-yard line for an 11-yard pickup and another Marquette first down. Cecil Brimage, 12 carries for 99 yards unofficially.
Both cramps.
Well, that's good news, isn't it?
But those things keep coming back.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so.
Wait till tomorrow morning about 3 a.m.
No, I understand that, but I mean, you don't want to see a premier player like Angelo Cross go down with a knee or something like that in the first game of the season. So, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You're going to have cramps in the first game of the season. I don't care what the temperature is.
Yep.
And I don't care how hard you practice. It doesn't really simulate going both ways in a hard-fought ball game.
Well, that's one of the problems that I would put at not having at least a couple of hot days to start practice with. None of these teams have had one, and they're never going to get in proper shape.
And we don't have a particularly hot night tonight. I'm sure I don't have a thermometer, but the temperature can't be more than 72 or 73 degrees if it's that warm. But it is very, very humid. And Angelo Cross is not the only player down with cramps. We got another Explorer over here closer to the near sideline. And now,
that's Brimage.
I don't know, is this an official's timeout for
Yes.
a water break? And that's that's one thing they haven't done tonight. Normally, this time of year, if it's very hot, they have scheduled official timeouts for water breaks, and they haven't done that this evening because it's not been particularly hot, and maybe they should have.
Well, wait till those Stripes get up at 3 a.m. in the morning with cramps.
But we've seen a couple of Cavaliers go off with cramps, and now Angelo Cross, he's going to have to be helped off the field. They worked on him, and he still can't hardly walk. They need to get him over here and get some fluids in him and try to rub that cramp out. But we may not see much more of him with 10:51 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Cross, who spent time at fullback last year, moved to guard on offense this year, and then also a key linebacker for the Explorers. Let's hope that's just a cramp and not a an ankle too, but the way they're working on him, no, it's just a cramp. He's got a cramp in his right leg, and he can't walk, and they're trying to stretch it out. All right, 1st and 10 Explorers at the 17 of the Cavaliers. Receivers left and right, double wing formation. They put Travis Jones in motion to the right side. Halm runs the option, tries to follow the fullback, and he's stacked up after a gain of a yard to the 16-yard line.
He should have given it to the fullback because the fullback went through free.
2nd down and 9 for the Explorers at the 16. Well, Marquette's place kicker is a freshman. And he's 3 for 3 on extra points. But you start to think about that now. 2nd down and 9, Explorers at the 16 of the Cavaliers. Jones in motion to the right side. This time they give it to Utley, and Utley picks his way down to about the 10-yard line. He had an immediate opening, then tried to cut it back to the right side, and I think maybe slipped a little bit on the cut. He picks up about 5 on that carry, and it's going to be third. Well, we'll call it a gain of 6, and 3rd and a long 3 for the Explorers. Just outside the 10-yard line. We'll call it the 11. 3rd and nearly 4 at the 11. Here is the give to, it's going to be Halm. Halm right up the middle. He's got the 1st down inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. He bellied it to Etley and then kept it himself, and there was a huge hole. 1st and goal Marquette at the 2 after the 9-yard pickup.
And well, what he's doing is cutting that up a little bit shorter. In the first half, they're running off tackle. Now here they're running off center, and soon as Utley clears, Holm just follows right behind him.
Marquette looking to regain the lead. 1st and goal at the 2. Here's the give to Utley. He's in for the touchdown. 2-yard touchdown run, Steve Utley, and Marquette has regained the lead with 9:12 remaining here in the 4th quarter. A big hole for Utley, the fullback, and he just walked into the end zone. And Marquette leads at 27-21 with the extra point attempt by Brogan Fisher yet to come. Out of the hold of Cecil Brimage. The snap, the spot, the kick. It's a line drive, and it's good. 9:12 remaining, 4th quarter. Marquette 28, Carlinville 21. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
When you use Tycon Builders for any project, no matter how big or small, they don't decide when the job is finished, you do. They won't even accept final payment for your project until you're 100% satisfied. Tycon Builders is a locally owned and operated company, so when they work on a home, they're working on the home of a neighbor, and they want to make sure their neighbors are happy. For home improvements, small or large, call Tycon Builders for a free estimate. 465-7335. Tycon Builders. Cross the bridge to quality.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home, with no upfront endowment and just one monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Marquette, Carlinville, I don't think they've ever played a season opener against each other before the revamped South Central Conference, but we knew that these would be 2 of the upper echelon teams in the conference. We knew of the tradition of the Marquette-Carlinville rivalry, and there's been no disappointment here tonight in what we've seen.
I can remember only one runaway in all the years that Marquette and Carlinville had played. That was the first time Marquette played Carlinville in the early 70s. But other than that, it's been nip and tuck.
So Brogan Fisher will kick it away for the Explorers. And he drills one down the left side, and it's going to roll towards the sideline and just rolls out of bounds. And so Carlinville will start 1st and 10 from their own 35. Josh Reeves took a chance in letting that one roll because it almost rolled dead, and he'd had to pick it up at the 10-yard line, and he'd have been lucky to get back to the 20. But it did roll out, and the Cavaliers will start 1st and 10 from their own 35. They have plenty of time remaining, 9-12. But this is where you look at that Marquette defense and say, okay, now is the time. And you have to be aware of Zach Dixon's ability to throw the football. He's completed 3 of 4 passes for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he's not throwing the ball here in the second half, but if he needs to, he can. And the Explorers have shown that they're a little bit vulnerable. I think Angelo Cross still over here on the near sideline with cramps. I don't see him out on the field. So somebody's moved into that linebacker
I think he's
position.
on his back there.
Yes, he is. And I think it's Keenan Eberlin working on him. On the first down play for the Cavaliers from their own 35, they pitch it out to the right side, and here's Reeves with lots of running room up the near sideline, crosses the 45, and takes it out to the 47-yard line. Josh Reeves on that carry picks up 12 and picks up the 10th first down of the night for the Cavaliers. Well, nobody doubted that either one of these teams were going to be able to put some offense on display here tonight. And they have not disappointed, and the rest of the South Central Conference better take notice, because when you play Marquette or Carlinville, they can bring some weapons at you. Now Dixon trying to sweep the left side, and Brimage hits him and then finally gets some fill help from Etley. And Dixon crosses midfield, the quarterback for the Cavaliers, and takes it down to the Marquette 47-yard line. That's a gain of 6 on that carry. And Dixon's a pretty big boy. And Cecil Brimage tried to take him on, and Dixon got the best of it. Zach Dixon, 6'2", 200 pounds. And Cecil Brimage, not nearly that big. 2nd and 4 Cavaliers at the Marquette 47-yard line. Marquette with a 7-point lead. Darnell Scott, double lead to the left side, has first down yardage down to the Marquette 41-yard line. A gain of 6 on that carry, and the 11th first down of the night for the Cavaliers. Darnell Scott, 18 carries for 81 yards. He's been their workhorse. Marquette with 18 first downs on the night to 11 for Carlinville. The Cavaliers with a first down at the Marquette 41. They send a receiver wide to the right side and go with a double wing formation. Zach Dixon takes the snap, drops to throw. Hit from behind as he went to unload it. Did the ball come loose?
Fumble.
The ball is loose, and Marquette has come up with it. With the fumble recovery for the Explorers, Mark Harrison, and Marquette has forced a turnover. I'm sure Carlinville will argue that Dixon's arm had started forward, but the official immediately signaled that it was a fumble, and Mark Harrison covered it for the Explorers, and Marquette has the football and the lead.
Harrison made the tackle, knocked it loose, and made the recovery.
So the second turnover of the night for the Cavaliers. 1st and 10 Explorers from their own 46. And here is Halm. Now he pitches it back. It's on the ground, and Brimage picks it up. And Brimage manages to take it out to about the 48-yard line. We'll see how much forward progress they give him. There's also a flag on the play. And that was not a well-advised pitch back by a Halm either. And you wonder at this point in time, with a sophomore quarterback who at times has been a little bit out of control, but other times brilliant, you wonder if at this point maybe those option plays all become predetermined. Would you think about that?
Yeah, I would, but the thing is that you've taught option football, read option football all along. If you're going to run with the sword, you're going to die by the sword, or win with the sword.
Well, Holmes certainly has been brilliant. That penalty goes against Marquette, a procedure penalty, only their 3rd penalty of the night for a total of 15 yards. 1st and 15 from the 40. Now Halm wiggles out of a tackle, finds running room here to the near side, out across midfield to the 45 of the Cavaliers and down to the 43-yard line. And he picks up 16 on that carry, and I think has another first down.
I think you're right, Sam.
So maybe you don't want to predetermine anything. You're right. Live by the sword, die by the sword. The 19th first down of the night for the Explorers. Halm, 14 carries, 141 yards. And I'll tell you what, when he gets ahead of steam, he's a weapon.
He's got some speed.
And he put on a real nice stiff arm there, too, didn't he? The tackler coming at him, and he put that arm out there and just fended him off. 1st and 10 Explorers at the Cavalier 43-yard line. Double wing formation, double tight. Brimage in motion to the left side, and the give to Etley right up the middle. And he does his patented job of just powering forward inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line, and a gain of 9 on that carry for Steve Etley.
Well, that's what they need to do, is just give him a gut-full Etley until they stop him.
Etley, 10 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Brimage, 12 carries for 99 yards. And Halm, 14 carries for 141 yards. Throw in Travis Jones, 6 carries for 52 yards. Double tight, double wing. Brimage in motion to the left side. They give it to Etley again. Etley just powering forward, picking his way inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. And a gain on that play of 6 yards, and the 20th first down of the night for the Explorers.
I had a fullback one time named Leo Swith. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, sure.
But he was in the backfield with Slaughter and Solly, and those guys got all the accolades. But when the game was on the line, it was Swift who got the ball.
1st and 10 for the Explorers at the 28 of the Cavaliers. Double tight, double wing. Halm turns, gives it to Etley. Etley bounces out to the right side, on his feet at the 25 and down to the 22-yard line, perhaps. The other thing that you're convinced of with Steve Etley is ball security, because as soon as he feels the tackler coming on him, he covers up with both hands. A 4-yard pickup on that carry for Etley. And he now is going to become the feature back, but you can also bet at one of these points in times they'll run that, they'll fake it and pitch it out there, and look out, Brimage or Jones might be gone. 2nd and 6 Explorers at the 23 of the Cavaliers. Here is the option to the left side, and Halm breaks a tackle inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line. Another first down for the Explorers after an 11-yard pickup by Dalton Halm. And this kid is going to be a weapon because he is a strong runner.
I hate to say this, but the predecessor may not get his job back. He may have to play safety or something like that. Let's have another couple Etleys there up the gut.
Down to 5 minutes and counting remaining in the fourth quarter. Marquette leading 28-21. 1st and 10 at the Carlinville 12-yard line. Double tight, double wing, and now a timeout called by the Explorers. 4:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. The season opener has been at Dandy, and at this point the score is Marquette 28, Carlinville 21. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at WeberGC.com.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown!
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
And that timeout might have been as much about giving the Explorers a blow as anything else, and now the left tackle jumped prior to the snap. Of course, I don't know if he had ever, well, he had to have been set if he jumped. But the officials are going to talk it over now. Had they marked the ball set for play prior to the player jumping. That may be what the discussion's about, because I'm not sure they did mark the ball set for play. These teams anymore coming out of the timeouts, and instead of huddling, they just go straight to the line of scrimmage. And if the officials hadn't, they waive off the penalty.
No.
Or did they not? No, I think the referee waved it off. And I think that's exactly what happened. They had not marked the ball set for play. The Explorers came out and set up, and somebody jumped, but all right, 1st and 10, and here's the give to Etley. And
no, it's not.
It's Holm on the carry. Or who'd they give it to? Anyway, inside the 5, but a flag is thrown, and this is not going to be good news for Marquette.
Well,
Cecil Brimage.
Where it was thrown in the secondary, that could be...
it's going to be a hold, I think.
Okay. The eternal optimist.
Holm kept it himself. He bellied it to Etley and then followed him up into the hole and took it all the way down to about the 3-yard line. But then the flag came behind the play, and we had a hold in the backfield. And they're going to walk off 10 yards from the spot of the penalty. The flag was lying at the 10. Actually, it probably should have been further back, but they walk off 10 yards from there and move it back to the 20, and it becomes 1st and 18 for the Explorers. That's their first major penalty. 1st and 18 at the 20. Jones in motion to the right side. Holm rolls to his right. Looking downfield, now he'll run with it. He's got some room, spins off a tackle at the 15 and takes it down to about the 14-yard line. A gain of 6 on that carry for Holm. It'll be 2nd down, 2nd and about 11.
Well, that's all right. They keep the clock running, although Carlinville still has 3 timeouts remaining.
2nd down and 11 for the Explorers at the 14 of the Cavaliers. They send Jack Miller wide to the left side. Sterrett wide right. Double wing formation. Brimage in motion to the left side, and they pitch it to Brimage. He looks to cut it back now, just powers his way through 2 tacklers, lost the football, and Carlinville recovers at the 5. Now the question was Brimage down? Did the ground cause the fumble? And that's what they're going to say. Brimage was down at the 10-yard line.
His knee was down.
And now Brimage is slow in getting up. So it turns into a 6-yard gain for Brimage on the carry and brings about 3rd and about 7 for the Explorers. Brimage, 13 carries for 105 yards. And let's see, and again, this looks like this is going to be a cramp problem for Brimage. And while nobody wants to suffer from a cramp, when you see one of your key ingredients go down, you'd much rather find out it's a cramp than a knee or an ankle. Yeah. The cramp will be fine next week. A knee or an ankle might not be. So now a big play upcoming. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Explorers at the 10. 3:47 remaining in the 4th quarter. And this whole thing's bogged down for about the last 10 minutes. 28-21, Marquette leads it. Carlinville jumped out to the early 7-0 lead. Marquette led 14-7. Carlinville tied it in the waning moments of the first half. It was 14 all at halftime. Carlinville took a 21-14 early 3rd quarter lead. And now Marquette has come back with 2 unanswered scores to make it 28-21. And the Explorers are knocking on the door. Now, let me ask you this, Coach, Mr. Hall of Famer.
Okay, this will be...
3rd and 7 at the 10. If you don't pick it up, you've got a freshman kicker who's 4 for 4 on extra points. And if you don't lose any yardage here, it wouldn't be much. It'd be about 8-10 yards more than an extra point. Would you risk it, or would you go on 4th down?
Well, what's the situation? Is it 4th
no, I'm
and
saying
7?
it's 3rd and 7 now, but I'm saying if they don't pick it up, here on third.
Well, all depends. If you're talking about 4th and 1, I'd go
You
for
go.
it. But if it's anything
4th and
more,
5.
or 4th and 2, 4th and
All
3, I'd kick it, because you're almost down here
With the
in extra
freshman-
point
Yeah.
area, and
he's 4 for 4.
And he's 4 for 4.
And that would salt the game away if you get it.
And he's sometime, I would hope, in the last 3 weeks has kicked one from 20, 25 yards.
Oh, I'm sure he's practiced them. You know how the kickers are. They're out there practicing them from 40 yards, right? Isn't that where they start?
No.
Well, without any supervision. That's where they start.
Well, you're right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We talk about now Brimage has helped off the field. I don't think Angelo Cross ever returned, although he's up and has his helmet on. Angelo Cross is. But Brimage is out now. We talk about field goal kickers, and we talk about classic Marquette Carlinville games. You remember the one here in the downpour and the quagmire? Craig Hendrick kicked about a 52-yard field goal. You and I both laughed until he kicked it. That ball had to weigh 20 pounds. 3rd and 7 Explorers, and here is Jones on the wing counter, breaks a tackle, gets back to the 10-yard line, but goes no further. And now Coach Tim Nelson faces this decision. It's 4th and 8 as Travis Jones loses a yard. If they tried the field goal, it would be about a 28-yard attempt from the right hash mark, but I don't see a kicker coming from the near sideline. And Marquette on 4th and 8 at the 11th appear that they will go, but they'll probably let the clock run down and then call a timeout and make the decision. They just marked the ball. Oh, Carlinville called the timeout because Marquette was going to wait for the ball to be marked for play and then let about 20 seconds run off. So the timeout comes with 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Marquette 28, Carlinville 21. The Explorers facing 4th and 9 at the 11-yard line. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
What do I have to do to sell you a car?
Roberts Motors, easy to get to, just off Highway 67 or Highway 3 in Alton.
Listed in the program, this is good, I like this. Listed as a fullback and a linebacker, he's 5'5", 140. But tonight, he's 4 for 4 in extra points. Now, we said he's out there. Marquette's still in the huddle here on the near sideline. But Brogan Fisher going out there. Now, Cecil Brimage is normally the holder. And he's on the near sideline suffering from cramps. So now we'll have a different holder. And the holder is going to be number 12, Dalton Holm. So he ought to be able to do that. He's the quarterback. So Brogan Fisher with a 27-yard attempt from the right hash mark, and Holm fumbles the snap. Now he's rolling to his left, looking downfield. Holm at the 10, at the 5, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. First down, Explorers. Dalton Holm picks up 10 on the carry. He fumbled the snap, picked it up, and came towards the near sideline, the wide side of the field, and raced towards the pylon, was driven out of bounds at the 1-yard line, but picked up 11 yards, or picked up 10 yards, and a first down, the 22nd of the night for the Explorers, 1st and goal at the 1. Well, how about that?
It's a sophomore quarterback's
something else.
Something else. Dream.
1st and goal at the 1. Holm under center. Puts Jones in motion to the right side. Keeps it himself. Spins out of a tackle and dives forward to the 1-inch line.
He was down.
He was down at the 1. Now, I'm telling you right here, you got to give it to Etley. 2:35 and counting, remaining in the fourth quarter. 2nd and goal at the 1.
I would have called it for the last.
On that play.
Yeah.
Actually, Holm lost a yard on that play. It's now 2nd and goal at the 2. So they said his knee went down at the 2, and then he lunged forward and tried to put the ball over the goal line. 2nd and goal. Double wing, double tight. The line of scrimmage, the 2-yard line. And here is Holm keeping it himself, and he powers his way in for the touchdown. His 3rd touchdown of the night. Marquette takes a 2-touchdown lead. It comes with 1:57 remaining here in the 4th quarter, and the Explorers will start 1-0. And for the 3rd straight season, Carlinville will lose their season opener. So Dalton Holm, 169 yards rushing on 19 carries and 3 touchdowns. And Brogan Fisher, now we've got Brimage back in there as the holder. Snap, spot, kick, and that one is no good. It was partially blocked. So with 1:57 remaining in the 4th quarter, the score now, Marquette 34, Carlinville 21. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
The more your life changes, the more your insurance needs change. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. In just minutes, I can conduct a free personal insurance review to help you determine how much and what type of coverage is right for you, with no costly gaps or overlaps. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance, today at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
Supplier Pricing Plus at the East Side's newest and one of the largest Chevy dealerships, Jack Schmidt Chevy of Wood River, with 14 acres of selection and more selection. Now all with Supplier Pricing Plus. Save $8,165 on a new 09 half-ton Silverado. A new 09 Malibu LS, just $18,600. Hit the road with Jack Schmidt, with over 14 acres of service, selection, and savings. Hit the road with Jack Schmidt Chevy, Wood River, Illinois.
Sam Stem along with John Rogers back at Public School Stadium in Alton. It's been a seesaw affair. Both teams have led. There have been a couple of ties. We were tied at 7, tied at 14, tied at 21, but now Marquette leads at 34-21, and coming out party for Dalton Holm, the sophomore quarterback, pressed into service when Keenan Eberlin, the senior, sprained an ankle a couple of nights ago. Now Reeves on the return for the Cavaliers out across the 16 to about the 17-yard line. Angelo Cross had him hemmed in inside the 10, but Angelo had another cramp, I think.
He had him dead in his sides and he ducked his head.
But Angelo's not 100% either. But the Explorers putting on quite a display here tonight. 200-yard rushers. Dalton Holm, the quarterback, 169 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Cecil Brimage, 105 yards rushing. 82 yards rushing by Steve Etley. And Travis Jones, 51 yards rushing and a touchdown. And now the Cavaliers try to run a play, and we've got whistles and flags.
Illegal formation, I think.
So the Explorers will start 1-0. They'll be 1-0 in the conference. They'll be tied for the conference lead with 4 other teams. And the Explorers have a home game next Saturday night hosting Pana here at Public School Stadium. We'll have that game for you live here on the Big Z. Carlinville, meanwhile, goes home and plays Vandalia next week. And that won't necessarily be a gimme.
No.
So now the Explorers are going to take a timeout. Carlinville was penalized for procedure on that play. Their 11th penalty of the night for a total of 78 yards. But the Explorers all night long seem to show the ability to move the football at will.
But the other thing we haven't talked about, Sam, is that they have got some big linemen.
Yes.
Something they haven't had necessarily in the years in the past. And they're young.
Yeah, and we probably ought to single out some of those linemen. The Up front for the Explorers, Mark Harrison, 6 foot 185. He's a senior. Angelo Cross moved to guard, 6 foot 200, a senior. Will Hart, Brad Emming, and Mike Cook. Cook's a sophomore, Emming's a junior. The other three are seniors. But, across the front, 185, 200, 220, 220, and 220. And
I never had anybody that big, any lines.
And, that's up in front of that talented backfield. And then a lot of the same guys going both ways. Now here is the give right up the middle. That's Darnell Scott carrying tacklers. He fumbles the football, but they had blown the play dead. I'm not sure why, because Scott never went down, but they say he was stacked up. And he picks up about 8 on the carry, and now Carlinville's going to use the timeout.
That's their last one.
Actually...
I'll take it back. They have one left.
Actually, Scott picks up 10 on that carry. 19 carries for 91 yards for Darnell Scott. He's been their workhorse. Now, we should say that Bobby Simmons, one of their big weapons back there in that backfield, a speed burner. And I'm trying to remember, he might be a younger brother of Dink Simmons? Or a cousin? Remember Dink? So, maybe not. 1:33 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 13-point lead for the Explorers, and Carlinville taking that timeout.
But to answer that question, Carlinville would not have gone to the wishbone if they had Simmons back there.
Right.
They try to slash and not go outside. But where they've had their success today is going in that double tight wishbone.
The other thing is they've only given the ball to Reeves 10 times, and he's got a lot more speed than Scott.
Yep.
But and Reeves is a two-way performer and has shown some of cramp problems. Now here's a near interception by Travis Jones as they try to pass up the left sideline, and Travis Jones back there playing center field read it all the way and nearly stepped in front of the intended receiver and might have had a pick there but couldn't come down with it, knocked it down. Zach Dixon now 3 of 5 for 110 yards and a touchdown. And Carlinville, I think, here is hoping against hope. Although I guess they remember that long 88-yard touchdown pass in the first half and figure, well, if we could duplicate that and then get an onside kick, we'd have a chance.
Well, there's a little bit different coverage this time.
You better believe it. 3rd and 5, Cavaliers. And Dixon drops to throw, lets it go deep down the right sideline and overthrows his intended receiver. Double coverage out there. And that's going to bring about 4th and 5, and I guess there's no reason they shouldn't go. And if they don't make it, Marquette will take a couple of knees and start 1-0. Tim Nelson, the second-year head coach of the Explorers, led them to a 6-3 regular season last year. Co-champions of the South Central Conference. And Coach Nelson about to pick up his 7th career victory in just the first game of his second season. He's an enthusiastic guy.
Yes, he is.
And I think a good fit for Marquette football, a Calhoun guy. Here is the give right up the middle, Darnell Scott, and he's going to have a first down out to the 29-yard line. A pickup of 6 on that carry for Scott. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. At 1:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter, but Marquette with the 13-point lead appears to have this one in the bag. Down to 105. Dixon under center, turns, hands it to, I think that's Reeves, and he takes it out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 5 on that carry. And now Carlinville will use another timeout.
That is their last.
Coach Rogers, I emceed the quarterback club preseason banquet.
I heard you did a very good job,
Tuesday.
Sam.
Well, I don't know about that, but I couldn't help but ask Coach Nelson at one point. I said, Coach, Marquette and Calhoun only played one time. Who won the game? And he said, I know who won the game. He said, I played in that game.
Oh, did he?
And Pat Keith, who's now the first-year head coach of the Roxana Shells, said, and so did I. And I remember who won, too. Marquette beat Calhoun right here at Public School Stadium on a Thursday night.
That was a heck of a ball game.
Yes, it was. It was a tremendous game. That was Rick Johns was still up at Calhoun.
And John Waters was at Marquette.
And those two teams played that one time, and it happened to be when Tim Nelson was an outstanding player for Calhoun, and Pat Keith was an outstanding player for Marquette. Now Coach Nelson, I did point out at the quarterback club banquet that a Staunton guy coaches in Bethalto, and a Bethalto guy now coaches in Wood River, and a Calhoun guy at Marquette, and a Marquette guy at Roxana. Now here's Darnell Scott.
And a Jerseyville guy in CM.
So here we've got Darnell Scott picking up about 7 yards and another first down for the Carlinville Cavaliers. And they take it out to the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. And Zach Dixon brings his team to the line of scrimmage on the first down play. Dixon, 3-step drop, quick pass. That's intercepted by the Explorers. It was a tipped pass, and it was intercepted by Marquette's Will Hart. And that's a lineman's dream to come down with an interception, isn't it? That'll make his season.
He really had to jump in the air for that one, Sam. Did you see how far he got off the ground?
About 2 inches. That's the third turnover of the night for the Cavaliers, and now Marquette will take a couple of knees. The final 45 seconds will run off the clock, and Marquette will be off to a 1-0 start and a 2-game winning streak against Carlinville, and that doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
Actually, Carlinville has won 4 of the last 6. Carlinville won 2 years ago here at Public School Stadium. And now the Explorers 1st and 10 at the Carlinville 42, and Dalton Holm will take a knee. And Marquette will take one more knee, and that'll be the ball game. But let me say this as well. Last year, Coach Tim Nelson was a little bit perplexed as to why Marquette played so well on the road and not very well here at home. They just had an awful performance here against Southwestern and had some breakdowns in some other games. Didn't play real well against Greenville. They weren't terribly pleased even in the season opener against Metro East Lutheran. Now another knee by Dalton Holm. But Marquette played very well here at home tonight in their home opener. The final 5 seconds ticking off the clock. The final score, Marquette 34, Carlinville 21. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. You're listening to Z1570 Radio Sports.
Life is busy, and that's a good thing. Olin Community Credit Union helps me keep up with convenient checking services like free online banking and bill pay, 5 area locations, and free ATMs. They even provide extra deposit insurance to keep my money safe and sound. I know I can count on them. And that helps me give 100% to the people who are counting on me. Call Olin Community Credit Union today or visit them online at olincreditunion.org. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're now approaching the island of Bora Bora. Enjoy your stay. This beautiful home contains 8 bedrooms, 2 family rooms, and a private jacuzzi just off the master bedroom. Hey, anybody up for a cruise in my sweet boat?
What are you going to do with all the money you save from buying your car at Roberts Motors?
Roberts Motors in Alton or online at RiverBender.com.
With John Rogers, Sam Stem back at Public School Stadium in Alton, where the Marquette Explorers have won their season opener. A very entertaining game, a seesaw affair that Marquette wins by a score of 34-21. Marquette outscored Carlinville 13-0 in the fourth quarter to post the victory, to go 1-0 on the season. Of course, every game this year is a conference game. So Marquette, along with 4 other teams in the SEC, will be tied for first place, and Carlinville, with 4 others, is tied for second or last, or however you want to look at it. But Marquette served notice to the rest of the SEC that, hey, You know, everybody thinks Greenville's the class of the league, but we're right up there with them. And we're a step above Carlinville right now. So all in all, a pretty fine performance by the Explorers to get things started here tonight. And quite a debut by the sophomore quarterback, Dalton Holm, who was pressed into service when Keenan Eberlin, the senior quarterback, went down with a knee or an ankle injury, a sprained ankle just a couple of nights ago in practice. Dalton Holm, the sophomore, steps in, and who knows, it might be his job from here on out.
Well, you can't knock the kid, and even though he's a sophomore and the quarterback was a senior, we're not the pros, where the starter, even if he's hurt, still comes back. If you've got a club like Marquette, where numbers mean so much, if you can take a kid who can do the job at one position, and you got another kid that can do a incredible job at another position, that just helps the whole ball club out.
Well, at any rate, the Explorers put on quite a show here tonight, quite an offensive show. Moved the football seemingly at will. And while their defense was touched for 21 points, you know, actually a couple of those were on short fields and then the one long strike early. And if you can tighten some of that up, you can see that maybe you're starting to develop a football team here that can really make some noise down the road. But before we go any further, why don't you run down that scoring summary? Carlinville struck first, both in the first half and the second half, but on both occasions, Marquette answered.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Jack Schmidt Chevrolet, the #1 GM certified dealer in Southern Illinois. Olin Community Credit Union, exceeding member expectations since 1934. Tycon Builders, 25 years of quality construction services. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Tom Lane State Farm, your good neighbor agent in the Riverbend. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Weber Granite City Chevrolet, Buy American. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof.